Alright, Act 4, Part 7, here we go.
Meanwhile, hundreds of pages ago...
What?
Open the package. There is something suspicious inside. Something suspiciously dirty.
This is Mara, by the way. Why does he have a picture of Mara?
And smelly. It is a stuffed bunny, much like the one held hostage briefly by Malkovich's Cyrus the Virus while taunting hard luck protagonist Cameron Poe, and strikingly similar to the one scooped up from the soot of a burning Vegas strip by Cage's Poe and offered to his daughter, a gesture symbolic of a tattered exterior surrounding a heart of gold. Poe wasn't much to look at, but he was a good man. But no, it was not merely like that bunny. According to this note of authenticity, it is the very same bunny.
Nitpicking here, but... What? That is a lot of spacing.
This is so awesome! Included is a note from your best bro, Dave.
So hey, since it's your birthday, I had to get you back for the sick memorabilia you got me, so I got you this god-awful thing, and now I just know you're standing there flipping your shit over it, so you're welcome. It's the actual gross bunny in the movie, so that means Nick Cage actually grubbed it up with his clownish no-talent fingers. I would suggest you put it somewhere and display it ironically. But I know you're dead serious about this ridiculous shit, so you'll probably sleep with the damn thing and nibble its ear and stuff. But the weird thing is, that's what's cool about you. You're this naive guy like Pinocchio tumbled ass backwards off the turnip truck and started liking Ghostbusters. Then the fairy godmother kissed your nose or some shit and you turned out to be not made of wood and also pretty cool to talk to. One day your gooberish ways are gonna land you in a jam and I know I'm gonna have to get you off the hook, but it's cool. I got your back, bro. Then we'll meet up and hug bump and get each other's filthy wife beaters that much filthier. So yeah, peace dog. TG.
Recuts.
John, get pestered by Dave.
Did you blast off like a spazzy douche yet or what?
Yeah, of course. There was no way I wasn't gonna try out this sweet ride.
God damn it, what do I have to do to make you believe me? Fist bump my future self till I get bloody knuckles and write you an even sappier birthday note in my own blood? On a Back to the Future poster?
Relax, I'm not going through the gate. I'm just flying around having a good time in the sky.
Oh, okay. So you believe me then, about future me, and like, him turning into a floating sword bird.
Okay, I don't know anything about that, but...
I love how just like mellow he is about his future self turning into a floating sword bird, like it just happens casually. He's just so cool with it, it's fucking insane.
But it doesn't matter. You're my best bro, and if you send out to go, then I won't go. Hey, can you hold on? I'm getting trolled again.
Oh man, and if we just concluded anything, it's that talking to those douchebags should be priority number one, so yeah, go right ahead.
Okay, be right back.
John, get trolled by CG.
I keep scrolling backwards through your adventure, trying to piece together how you botched this up so badly, and I keep finding these striking pockets of foolishness, like what you're doing right now, riding your little red rocket like you're a freshly hatched human larva, and this is just all a big school hive rumpus respite.
Humans aren't hatched as larvae, dummy. We don't hatch at all, we're born as these little pink monkeys called babies.
Bullshit! That's not what you just told me!
What did I say?
I'll paste what you said.
I thought you didn't like going down this road, copy-pasting future past conversations.
Why would I have a problem with that?
I don't know, that's what you just told me.
Whatever, look. This is really weird. What's so weird about it? Well, normally humans hatch from these little slimy pods, and then we wriggle out as little pink larvae. Oh, really? Huh. Maybe we have more in common than I thought.
I was punking you, dude. Or at least I will be in our next conversation. Thanks for the great prank idea.
Why would you trick me about that? What is even the point?
I don't know, it was just a friendly prank. Don't you ever play pranks? I mean, of course you do. Why don't you just try to prank me good?
What? Who?
You'll find out.
Well, fine. I guess you got me back, sort of. For my trolling. Even though you haven't even read my worst trolling efforts yet, because they happen in your future. And even then, you didn't even mind much. Almost like you were delighted to hear. Kind of perverse, really. What's wrong with you?
Well, we're friends by then, aren't we? Or sort of like, reverse anti-mutual friends?
What the hell does that even mean?
Look, you're gonna have to face it at some point. That you're learning the meaning of this human emotion called friendship.
Is friendship really an emotion?
Yes, absolutely.
I guess it's hard to see how we become friends.
What? Did he just friend sim?
This is so frustrating. Every time I go further back into your past and talk to you, you say stuff that pertains to my immediate future. And then you won't explain to me what's going on because it's already old news for you.
Dude, you've been doing the same exact thing!
I've done no such thing. I've been exceptionally informative and helpful, if justifiably acrimonious.
You never answer my questions, though. How am I supposed to know what's going on? Or what you're alluding to?
This game is a kind of game with a million guides. Everywhere you turn, there's another way to figure out what's going on. So please, go secrete me in Earth River through your strange human tear ducts. You've got sprites, exiles, guardians, consorts, time-hopping future selves, mystical dream oracle doppelgangers, and if that wasn't enough, your particular group of players is lucky enough to have us to give you the scoop on stuff, through the sort of subversion of the whole damn thing. Even though we hate you, even though the fact that we hate you is an immutable fact as unalterable as this writhing, knotted hell of a timeline choking us all to death, it does not mean we have any reason to withhold any information from you, or dish it out through crypto-baffling mind-fuddlery. So go ahead, ask me anything.
Okay, what's the point of the game?
Ask something else, I already told you that, it was this whole big conversation we had.
Fine. Where are you now?
In the medium, a separate session from yours.
No, I know that. You already told me.
I did?
Yes, in your future.
Damn it.
What I mean is, are you in your house right now, or in one of your magical lands, or what? I'm just curious, because you can see me, but I can't see you, or know anything about you.
We're hiding in the Veil. What's left of it?
What's that?
It's a huge belt of meteors, orbiting way outside Skya, beyond the orbit of the planets, dividing the medium from the furthest ring, where Durs orbits.
Durs?
The dark planet, prospects the light one near Skya.
Well, geez, how am I supposed to know any of this?
You'd probably find out sooner or later from your dumb grandma, but by fusing with the sprite, she has to withhold stuff and be mysterious and all, to make your adventures seem more magical. It's infuriating.
Okay, so the Veil is a bunch of meteors. What do you mean, what's left of it?
Okay, there comes a time when black inevitably beats white. On the battlefield in the center of Skya, the White King is captured or killed or something. That's when the reckoning starts.
Okay.
The rulers of Durs, the Black King and Queen, get the power to send the Veil towards Skya and destroy it. That kind of starts a big countdown when shit gets serious.
So then it's up to us to save it?
Yeah, you have that long to kill the Black Queen and King, and Skya itself sort of buys you some time by activating its defense portals. To catch some of the meteors, the threat gets bigger the longer you take though. Smaller meteors come first and they get progressively bigger and bigger, and there's only so much Skya can absorb for you.
Okay, but it sounds like we've got plenty of time before that happens, right?
That's just it. You don't. Ordinarily you would, but your reckoning starts much sooner because of some dumb things you've done. You completely blew it already and you have no chance of winning anymore, which ordinarily would be fine, just another bunch of losers to fail at this game. It's what you do later that causes so much more trouble than that, and now we have to deal with it too.
Oh no, what is it?
Already told you, it's inevitable and completely pointless to talk about anyway.
Yeah, well, maybe you're wrong. Maybe there's something we could still do to stop it. If you'll just help us.
I'm not wrong, it's all right here in front of me. You fuck up royally, end of story.
Okay, we'll see about that, Mr. Sour Bulge. Hey, are you kind of uncomfortable sitting on a meteor? Are you like huddled in a crater or something?
No, there's all kinds of crazy shit in the Veil. A lot of these meteors are kind of like big seeds.
Seeds? What kind of crazy shit is in there?
Stuff like buildings, facilities, like labs and stuff.
Weird.
Yeah, the Veil is kind of like neutral ground for the kingdoms, like our planets. Some places are used to genetically engineer soldiers and agents for the two sides, using genetic material from the exotic menagerie of chess pieces on the battlefield to help fuel the war and keep raising the stakes.
Wow, I don't think I'm following this.
Yeah, no shit! But you'll find out when you get there, since you weren't in the Vale when we last talked. Anyway, that's more than enough information for you to think about, and be less stupid in time for conversations we've already had. I'm out of here.
Okay, but wait, can you give a message to GC for me? Tell her, nice try.
What? Why would I give her a message for you? Do it yourself. I'm not a relay service.
Oh well, I thought you'd be cool with it since you asked me to give her a message for you the last time, but whatever.
I find that highly implausible. I'm not falling for any more of your human pranks. Nice try, John. Ah.
Jack, ascend.
Make her a member of the Midnight Crew.
What is this, Star Fox? Dus. Wait, why does she have a sword through her? Cthulhu? Lefuk? Wait, so the delivery girl, post girl, spoke to that queen who gave her a task and gave her items to help her do it, and now this queen's had her finger chopped off and the ring taken by this guy, who now by putting on the ring has grown the wings and stuff. So basically he's killed her, taken the power that she was using. Does that make him the new ruler of this? Is that the Black Queen or King or... Oh boy, here we go. End of year 1. Black by Toby Fox. Well, I'm gonna be doing counter copyright claims for every single musical copyright that I get from now on for this stuff, because it's been getting ridiculous. And if it's all done by Toby Fox, why is it that it's never Toby Fox's name on the claim?
Locate fourth wall.
Ah.
Activate.
Fuck off.
Andrew Hussey, engage in highly indulgent self-insertion into story.
What? Oh, hell no, this is always such a terrible idea. Leave me alone.
Andrew Hussey, examine wall. You really wish your side of the wall had an off switch.
Which is to say, I really wish my side of the wall had an off switch.
Oh, forget it. Go back to work.
Okay, you're just going to ask me to recap Homestuck, though. I don't know why you'd want to sit there and watch me type. This is going to be pretty long.
Andrew Hussey, it is suggested that you recap first year of Homestuck.
Homestuck began on April 13th, 2009, the 13th birthday of our chief protagonist and future boy Skylark, John Egbert. 3 days prior was supposed to be the day he received the Spur Beta in the mail, but it was running late. It showed up later that afternoon, and after overcoming a variety of domestic adversities, he retrieved the game, along with a birthday package from his internet friend Dave Strider.
No, nobody wants to listen to any of this. Do something less boring.
Narrator, it is suggested that you shut the hell up.
Andrew Hussey, retrieve arm from background.
Huh? Oh, Cal, please, not now.
Why don't you keep drawing Homestuck or something?
Oh, but I don't merely draw Homestuck. Say forward, arrow, I'm about to make a joke.
Okay. Forward arrow.
I conjure this intrepid fantasy-scape with tears bled from the wisdom-weary eyes of 50,000 imaginary magicians. I pull heavy drags from the brooms of inspiration, with enchanted bellows marauded from a guild of churlish mythical dwarves. Vast bulbous riddle spiders push the silken strands of pure whimsy through hideous abdominal spinnerets, and it is that with which I weave the sedacious cocoon of exquisite lies. And when it hatches, a great moth of titillation will awaken and roar and beat its wings, and the powder settling down will arrest the humors of an enormous, terrible old beggar, relaxing the vulture's leathery vice grip he's fixed around your captive mind. Ah ha ha ha! Ah ha! Oh yeah.
This is stupid.
Hussey is basically... he thinks he's Hideo Kojima at this point.
Stop being a wise ass and get drawing.
Alright. It won't be that exciting to watch, though. Here's the file I was using for the fourth wall. What do you want me to draw?
Can you show us what's going on with John again?
Sure. How about if I drag the content for one of the John files under the fourth wall layer, so we can make a more graceful transition out of this ludicrous, highly disruptive self-insertion arc?
That sounds like a good idea.
Oh, and then you can say something like, switch wall's view to show us what's going on with John. Here, I'll prepare the GIF file for that. It'll take just a few seconds. Go ahead, say that.
Switch Wall's view to show us what's going on with John. You decide that's entirely enough of that. If this website becomes any more self-aware in a playfully self-deprecating, yet weirdly self-aggrandizing manner, you're gonna go drown a bag of puppies in a sewer. John, answer GC.
What's this?
It's your world map with your second gate labeled so you can go there.
Oh man, let me drop everything and go there because I'm in such a huge hurry to take more of your advice.
John, please, give me one of your human breaks. I feel awful about killing you, even though you technically never died, so I don't know what you're bitching about.
Yeah, well, Dave said I did, and I believe him.
That is because he and you are best pupil pals for life. Can I be your pal too, John?
I don't know, I thought you were okay for a while, but now you're kinda giving me the creeps.
Jigus, John.
What?
I'm invoking the name of your Earth, Jigus, to express frustration.
You mean my Earth Jesus?
I don't know. Do I?
Do you have a troll Gigas?
John, we have the best troll Jigus. You don't even know.
Wow, really? Or is this a joke?
It's a joke. I'm not really sure what a Jigus is.
Well, neither do I guess. It's pretty much not anything.
John, will you please follow the map? Let me earn your trust. If you don't like what's on the other side of the gate, you can just turn around.
Okay, I'll take a look.
You
John,
can't, can you?
open map.
John, here is your house. I cropped this world map for you so you can find where to go easily. Fly north. Also, hi, this is me. This is the second gate. Go in here. I promise you won't die this time. Unless you screw up all by yourself.
John, enter. John, get up! Despite the pandemonium of your entrance, Rose is still sound asleep. She must be really tuckered out. It looks like this little guy is awake and ready for action, though. He is adorable. You decide to name him Dr. Meowgan Spengler. John, answer Dave.
Wow, okay, you're a little early, but that's fine, I guess. Also, you suck at rockets. What?
Tricked me again.
Who?
GC, she told me how to get to the second gate, and I went through, but it took me to Rose's house instead. Another prank.
Dude, you did go through the second gate. I mean, I don't know why you would listen to her again. Kind of moronic, but that's a whole other issue. She didn't trick you this time.
Oh, then I don't really get this.
What were you expecting? This is how it works. The progression of gates is like this whole round-robin thing, cycling through each planet. Gate 2 on your planet leads to Gate 2 on Rose's, then you build up Gate 3 above her house, which leads to somewhere else on her planet. You look for Gate 4 somewhere there, which leads to Gate 4 above my house, and so on.
Wow, okay.
Ordinarily, Rose would have already gone through her Gate 1, but she's sleeping pretty hard, obviously. And ordinarily, you wouldn't have gone through Gate 2 until her house was built up, so you wouldn't fall to your death. But you got your cheat rockets, that's fine. See, we all gotta coordinate on this thing.
Okay, how do you know all this?
Fuck, come on, dude.
Oh yeah, you're the Orange Dave. Hey, no offense, do you think I could talk to the real Dave for a sec?
God damn it, I am the real Dave. You know, the one who saved your life. I'm more real, actually, because I've been through some heavy shit, already hopping around on red-hot gears and I-beams for like a year, and grinding shit out for your ungrateful ass. Here, look, check out this code from the future. Not that you deserve it. You're fucking welcome.
Wow, calm down. I'm sorry, that's not really what I meant. I mean, of course you're a real Dave, but what I mean is the Dave from my time is also my friend, and I guess he's in the same boat I'm in, and not knowing stuff and all. And I'd feel bad keeping him out of the loop.
Yo,
Oh hey! I think I pissed off your future self.
what did you do?
I said he wasn't the real Dave. I think I might have really hurt his feelings, though.
Don't worry about it.
Why not?
Because I wouldn't give a shit, and he's me.
Okay, I'm in Rose's room, by the way.
What? Really?
Yeah, but she's asleep.
Okay, don't go anywhere. I'm coming down to the computer.
Okay.
Dave is here. He wants to use the computer, probably to help you scope out Rose's room and snoop and stuff. I mean, that's what I would have done, if you were alive. So I'm gonna go use these flappy ghost wings and tear shit up in space or something.
Sure! Hey, Dave.
What?
In case I forgot this episode before, thanks for saving my life.
Yeah.
Woof.
John,
Imagine Kuma being told, can I talk to the real Kuma? Dun dun dun!
Snoop.
Okay, I don't know what you're doing here, but I think we can both agree that you've got to rummage through as much of her shit as possible before she wakes up.
Man, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't really like the idea of capering her around her room while she's asleep. Feels weird. I'm gonna wake her up.
Dude, no, come on. She's out like a light anyway. It was some, like, weird future thing that happened to her that made her sleep.
Future thing?
Yeah, shit doesn't get more clear than that.
Well, yeah, she won't wake up, so I guess so. But I'm not snooping.
Fine, don't. But, here, just do this one thing. See those two notebooks on the floor behind you?
Yeah, they look sort of like journals. I don't think I should read those.
You don't have to read them. I'm not telling you to.
See ya, chat.
What kind of prying tool do you take me for? Just pick them up. You know, like, tidy up a bit, since you made a royal fucking dump of her room just now.
Okay.
John, pick up books.
Now I need you to do something else. This is important. Like, for important game reasons and stuff. Take the card the books are on. Flip it over, so you can see the code.
Hey, wait a minute. I see what you're trying to do. I won't tell you the code for Rose's book.
Dude, you don't have to tell me the code. Just flip it over and let me know if there's a code there, that's all.
Okay, I guess. Yeah, there's a code.
Alright, cool. You can ditch the books now if you want. Maybe put them back on the floor, so Rose doesn't think you were snooping. Seriously, you've got some grubby fingers, bro. Why don't you just mind your own business there? What is even with you?
Haha, Dave, I think all this laughing made me poop in my pants too hard.
Isn't that your birthday package there?
Oh yeah, I think it might be.
Maybe you should look at it. I don't think it counts as snooping since it's technically yours.
Yeah, maybe. I wonder if she's finished. She was so tight-lipped about the damn thing. I'm really curious.
Dave, zoom in.
Low-key, I'm getting tempted to start wearing sunglasses whenever I play games, just 'cause reasons. She's starting to look more like her mother when she has legs and arms. Because you never see her arms in the animations. Okay, they're asleep now. Or are they awake? Because technically John is sleeping.
John, check Rose's bookshelf. You eye your birthday package again curiously. It's awfully tempting to peek inside, but you feel guilty about it for some reason. Even
I have to. Yeah.
though it's yours anyway. You suppose a pursuer of her bookshelf would be harmless enough? Just a bunch of books. The knowledge
Hell
within
yeah.
is meant for everybody. Dave pesters you with the message, which you decide not to
fuck?
bother dignifying with a whole pestalog ordeal, because it's probably just him being a truculent jackass again. So screw him. John, look at book. You find a book full of beautiful poetry and groundbreaking philosophical thinking by American sports legend.
The big man has answers. What the fuck?
Charles Barkley. These are words to cherish. This is a man to treasure.
What?
John, take book. You capture log Rose's autographed copy of This Ocean Charles. Jewels of wisdom like this don't just fall into your lap every day, and shouldn't be parted with lightly. You'll doubt she'll mind if you borrow her book. She's always trying to get you to read her weird books anyway. Oh, John, just open the package already. You can't take it anymore. You're gonna see what's inside.
John, I never got to thank you properly for your gift. Yes, the words were there. Language comprising the familiar veneer of gratitude rubbing off with each tired favor traded for. A God bless to a sneeze or a few pennies cradled in a receipt. Perhaps it's the deplorable romantic in me, but I thought your present and your friendship demanded reciprocation surpassing by some degree the utterly meaningless. The proper thanks, I thought, would be a demonstration that your offering was not in vain. Yes, some would take your suggested alternative to my gloomy preoccupations as a passive-aggressive jab, but I know you didn't mean it that way. In fact, I'm sure reading about it now is the first time the notion has occurred to you. John, please stop rolling your eyes. The letter is down here. The gift in this box is a resurrection. I used your present to thread life anew into a tattered heirloom. As long as I can remember, its black, greasy appendages have been tethered limply to its ratty, porous carriage. Too delicate to wash, too dear to discard. I used to love this rabbit. Now he's yours. I trust you'll find this to be adequately sentimental. Happy birthday. Rose.
John, put the bunny back in the box.
Chaos Dunk!
This gift from Rose is so cool! 2 sweet bunnies on one birthday? What are the odds? In a fit of enthusiasm, you shut up and jam the bunny back in the box, executing a textbook chaos dunk. Millions would have perished if everything in the ocean weren't dead already, that is. John, take box. You gently chaos dunk the fragile bunny back in the box and capture log it. It is such a nice present. You will have to write Rose a thank you note and tuck it under a hairband or something. Wait, no, that would probably be creepy. This bunny reminds you that you still have a salamander in your Silodex. She is holding onto the bunny Dave got you. It's sort of uncanny how similar they are, aside from the knitted enhancements. Seriously, what are the odds? So weird. John, deploy beloved daughter. You release dear precious Casey. She was probably getting antsy in that card. You think you'll leave her here with Rose? A dangerous quest is nothing to embark on with a sweet innocent little girl stashed in your inventory. You aren't actually sure if this is a girl though. You don't know if salamanders can be girls. Aren't they hermaphrodites or something? You don't know anything about biology, unless it's a biology that has to do with ghosts and slime. But even then, you don't actually know anything. You just sort of like to pretend you do. Looks like a troll is bugging Rose.
Stop! I don't even know which timeline you're from! Alright, we did Act 4, Part 7. Now it's time for us to do Let's Read Homestuck 1 year recap. But wasn't this included as part of the episode?
Homestuck began on April 13th, 2009.
Okay, well this is its own video. Oh no, does that mean in the last timeline where John died, the salamander also died? I don't know. This is the whole thing. Last time it got skipped. I mean, I know John's sleeping next to that girl, and everything that's happening in this game thing is in his dream self, and I think I need to watch the recap to make sure I'm on the same page. I think we all do. Recap's 30 minutes.
Countdown and release an entity called a Colonel's
rescuer from the
along the way
and spontaneously
in John's wrecked car as he gave
fearful of
understanding that no matter
Dreambot explodes in
of a genetic code
which would affect the enemies later.
How to prototype with Cal. And scrawling she did in MEOW letters.
Yeah, I think it's actually worth watching the recap because it's probably gonna have bits and pieces that are important. So let's grab a quick 2-minute break, a quick little break, and then we'll watch the recap just so we're nice and refreshed for it, because we're paying a lot of attention.
Homestuck began on April 13th, 2009, the 13th birthday of our chief protagonist and future boy Skylark, John Egbert. 3 days prior was supposed to be the day he received the Spur Beta in the mail, but it was running late. It showed up later that afternoon, and after overcoming a variety of domestic adversities, he retrieved the game, along with a birthday package from his internet friend Dave Strider.
John soon established a game connection with another friend, Rose Lalonde, who'd spent the day badgering him about playing with her after unsuccessfully attempting to convince Dave to play. Upon connecting, Rose was able to manipulate John's environment, move his furniture around via cursor, and restructure the shape of his room. John was unable to do this to Rose's environment, however. He installed the client copy of the beta and required the server copy for that.
The server copy was trapped in his dad's car, along with a birthday package from another friend, Jade Harley. Jade messaged John inquiring about the package. As of this moment, neither her package nor the server copy has been recovered by John. Rose had also prepared a package for John, but had not mailed it yet. It still sits in her room. Dave's package contained the authentic stuffed bunny from Con Air.
In addition to allowing Rose to control John's environment, Spur provided an array of devices Rose deployed throughout John's house. These devices, used together, provided a system by which the players could manufacture any item using the code on the back of that item's capture log card if they gathered enough grist to pay for it. Later, they would learn to combine item codes to master the art of punch card alchemy, whereby items could be fused together in purpose and design.
One device on being activated began a countdown and released an entity called a Colonel Sprite. The countdown ticked down to the moment John's house would be struck by a meteor, destroying his neighborhood. To escape his demise, John had to use the devices to manufacture a special item that looked like a blue apple and take a bite of it, in order to transport his entire house just before impact to the safety of a mysterious dark realm, where his house would situate itself atop a tall rock column high above a blanket of clouds. This realm is called the Medium.
Before he entered the medium, though, John and Rose prototyped the Colonel Sprite with the large Harlequin doll his dad got him for his birthday, transforming the sprite to bear its likeness, including the ways the doll was disfigured via earlier hijinks. It had a slashed eye on one arm, and so too did the sprite. When John entered the medium, the sprite's kernel hatched, thus imbuing all the enemies John and his friends would face with the properties of the sprite. The lesser adversaries John faced first, shale imps, all wore Harlequin garb. They became more powerful and more radically mutated with each successive pre-medium prototyping.
After entering the medium, John's dad was kidnapped by imps. While John was looking for him, he accidentally prototyped the sprite with his grandmother's ashes, transforming it again. This prototyping had no effect on the enemies, since he was already in the medium and the kernel had already hatched. Instead, only the sprite was affected, and it took on the appearance, personality, and memories of his grandmother, becoming Nana Sprite, a game-supplied, albeit customized, guide for John. She explained aspects of the game about Skya residing at the center of the medium beyond 7 gates floating directly above his house, and about an eternal and timeless war fought there between dark and light, one that light was always destined to lose.
Rose, who had been having frequent internet connection issues, lost her connection as she tried to lift John's car to retrieve the game in the package. The car fell into the abyss below. A storm caused her house to lose power along with the wireless internet connection. Her laptop was able to run on battery power for a time, while she tapped into the wireless signal from a laboratory next door. When her laptop ran out of power, she had to overcome more family strife and endure a gift pony in the process, go outside in the rain, and plug it into the small generator outside the mausoleum of her dead cat, Jasper's. She continued her session with John inside the mausoleum, while the meteor-sparked forest fire surrounding her house grew more intense.
From the house, Rose's mom opened a secret passage in the mausoleum to help her escape. The passage led to the lab next door, where Rose found a stable, portable source of power and internet for her computer. She also found a terminal projecting the impact times and locations for the millions of meteors presently bombarding the planet, along with all the other live sessions of other players around the world.
I didn't know it was the mum that opened up the tunnel in the mausoleum. So the mother knew. Jesus Christ, what the fuck is the mother up to?
She also found a little girl's room, a mutant kitten she named Vodka Mutini, and a cloning machine operating through the science of ectobiology. Its terminal was locked onto her cat Jasper's at whatever point in his life the user specified.
She attempted to purify Jasper's from a moment early in her childhood, before he whispered a secret to her. But doing so would have caused a paradox, so it would have purified a pile of slime instead. The machine used the slime to create a fetal paradox clone of Jasper's in a glass tube. On the monitor, Jasper's then told young Rose the secret, then vanished, only to show up dead weeks later and put in the mausoleum for years until the present. Rose left the laboratory moments before it was destroyed by a meteor impact. She transportalized back to her mom's room, proceeded to her room to wait for Dave to connect with her and rescue her from the next imminent impact.
Dave was charged with acquiring his bro's copy of the game to help Rose. Earlier, he had lost his copy of the game due to a mishap involving a crow. It flew in his window, seized the game, and Dave accidentally impaled it with a sword, sending the crow and the game out the window onto a landing far below his apartment.
So Dave's bro was also supposed to be in the game, but is not. Interesting.
He searched his bro's room unable to find it, was briefly shadowed by Lil Cal, and then found a note beckoning him to meet on the roof for a confrontation. Dave and his bro dueled on the roof extensively, and Dave was thoroughly bested. Upon defeating Dave, his bro dropped the copies of the game and flew off on his rocket board into the sky.
Dave used the copies to connect.
And flew off on his rocket board in the sky. It almost sounds like he fused things already.
With Rose, and quickly deployed the devices while her house was on fire, surrounded by flaming tornadoes and minutes away from being destroyed by a meteor. Rose prototyped her kernel sprite with Jaspers, specifically to understand the meaning of the secret he whispered to her years ago. She was advised to do this by Jade, who told her about the game in the first place. Dave then prototyped the kernel sprite again with a tentacled princess doll given to Rose on her birthday by her mom. Both of these prototypings would have an effect on the enemies once Rose entered the medium and the kernel hatched. Rose used the alchemitor to create the special item, for her, a purple wine bottle, which she needed to break to enter. She eventually did, transporting her house just before the meteor collided.
The meteor left a crater. Over time, at the site of impact, a large white structure that looked like a wine bottle grew there, and the crater filled up with sand as the climate of the post-apocalyptic Earth gradually changed. The cork of that bottle was a large metal cylinder with an interior much like an advanced science station, with a variety of devices and monitors inside. 413 years after the meteor impact, the wayward vagabond walked through the desert and discovered this station. Inside, he found canned rations, a firefly he named Serenity, and a purifier, and 4 monitors hooked up to a keyboard.
On one of the monitors was John, just after he'd entered the medium. Waver the Vagabond could type commands to John directly, much as the readers of the story could type commands for the characters to follow. Most of John's actions upon entering the medium were authored by Waver Vagabond, until he became preoccupied with other activities such as building a town out of cans, playing chess with cans, and drawing chalk murals depicting the cosmological arrangement of Skya, the medium, the light and dark planets known as Prosper and Durs.
Yeah, and so using that computer, he could pretty much control the sprite and what it was saying.
The 4 planets the kid would each occupy upon entering the game, called the Land of Wind and Shade for John, Land of Light and Rain for Rose, the Land of Heat and Clockwork for Dave, and Jade's planet, which is yet to be seen.
He also activated a countdown in the station which caused it to blast out of the crater and fly to designated home coordinates. Along the way it passed over the sand-filled crater that was the impact site for John's meteor on the other side of the continent. John's meteor had caused a giant white tree to grow in the crater. The tree grew an apple-like station from a branch, which fell to the sand. The peregrine mendicant found this station. After WV flew overhead, PM activated her station's homing feature as well, which caused it to fly to the same destination. Along the way, she used her terminal to attempt to command Jade, who from the perspective of the terminal had just arrived in the medium. This caused the terminal to explode for unknown reasons, leaving a hole in the station.
So the first one commanded John, the second one they tried to command Jade and it exploded. So it means there's something up with Jade.
The station's robotic worms recovered one of PM's falling mailboxes, and she befriended it, after earlier slaying another one with her black Regisword.
Wait a minute, that black Regisword is the thing that's... with the thing with the ring. Is still weird.
WV landed at the site of the ancient frog ruins across the now dried up Pacific Ocean. The site was once the island where Jade lived, but nothing of the island remained except for the ruins. The mountain her house was on and the volcano next to it were replaced by a large empty chasm. PM landed shortly after WV and they met. They were confronted by the aimless renegade who fired at them from the frog ruins with old weaponry he'd been hoarding, once belonging to Jade's grandpa. Millions of years ago, the frog ruins grew from a crater struck by a meteor that emerged from a spurb portal in space. Jade's radioactive, omnipotent, space-warping dog named Becquerel emerged from this crater as well.
What?
Jade's grandpa pioneered this island and built the house Jade lives in. Her grandpa has been dead for many years and stands stuffed in front of the fireplace. She's been looked after by her dog, who she calls Beck. She begins each day with several tasks to accomplish: to feed Beck and to retrieve a birthday package mailed by John. She irradiates a steak, then heads outside to the site where the package will be dropped. She knows it will be dropped there because one of the reminders she wears on her fingers jogs her memory about it. She wears them to keep track of the many things she knows about the future through dreams.
She falls asleep frequently and spontaneously. When she sleeps, her dream self is awake and living on the moon that orbits the light planet Prospit. Prospit very closely orbits Skya, a huge sphere of blue sky and clouds, which Nana describes as a dormant crucible of unlimited creative potential.
So, when you go to sleep on the world, you wake up to your dream self, which is on a planet somewhere around Skya, which is in the game. So that's how they're accessing the game world. And they're interacting with each other using the game discs, whether it be the player disc or the, what was it called, the editor disc or world builder disc. But they're still asleep. Their physical bodies are still asleep somewhere. Okay.
When Prospit's moon eclipses Skya, it drifts into Skya for a time, mingling with the clouds. Dream Jade then witnesses many past and future events in the clouds. While asleep, she is often confused about what is real and what isn't. When she wakes up, she pieces together future events from her memory of the cloud visions and from logs recorded by her Dreambot. Her Dreambot is a robotic surrogate that activates while she sleeps in her bed. It mimics in the real world the movement and actions of her dream self on the moon, and records a video log of what she sees while dreaming.
Prospit's moon has 2 towers of identical design.
Wait. So it mimics what a dream self is doing. That's occupying the moon. Okay, so that explains why Dave was able to wake her up. Because her dream self was on the moon lying on the bed. But the robot would have been mimicking what she was doing and sitting on the bed, so he could have slapped her. Okay. Fucking drugs? This is what happens when someone's on drugs and they decide to turn what they see on drugs into a flash animation. This is the dangers of drugs, ladies and gentlemen.
And similar design to Jade's house. Dream Jade lives in one tower. Dream John lives in the other. Dream John is still asleep, and John has no knowledge of the dream world, which is to say, the entire game session he would initiate on his 13th birthday. When he goes to sleep, instead of waking up on the moon as Jade does, he remains slumbering in his dream room, tormented by his subconscious. This torment is expressed when he sleepwalks and draws troubling scribbles on the walls of his room. When awake, he cannot see the scribbles, as his subconscious suppresses his awareness of them. It's not until he has a perception-altering revelation about his dad he begins to see them. He initially believed they were new additions to his room, perhaps scrawled by imps. However, they were present long before, visible in his room while he prepared Jade's birthday package months ago.
John prepared a package for each of his 3 friends who...
But wasn't all these drawings in the dream world anyway? Isn't his real world where he's sleeping, where Jade is? So these scribbles are in the dream world. Okay?
13th birthdays were December 1st, Jade, 3rd...
They're in both worlds? Fucking weird, cunt.
3rd, Dave, and 4th, Rose. He gave Rose a knitting set, and she then took an intense interest in knitting. He gave Dave the pair of shades Ben Stiller wore in Starsky and Hutch, which he wore from then on, replacing the shades in the style his bro wore.
So he used to wear shades that resembled the shades that his bros
interest
has.
In knitting.
How weird would it be if it turns out Dave's older bro is actually the Dave that didn't receive the glasses? So what if Dave's bro is the original Dave? And this is second Dave. And, no wait. Dave's bro can be Dave 1. Dave from the future is Dave 2. And this is Dave 3. That'd be fucking trippy as fuck.
Gave Dave the pair of shades Ben Stiller wore
That's
in
how he knows what he
Starsky and
wants.
Hutch, which he wore from then on, replacing the shades in the style his bro wore. He gave Jade a blue version of his own ghost shirt, and some pumpkin seeds to help her replace the pumpkins that kept disappearing from her garden. But she did not receive this on the birthday John intended. She received it in the past on her birthday when she was very young, causing her to take an interest in gardening in the first place, to take a liking to blue apparel, and to eventually befriend John over the internet and lead him, Rose, and Dave down a path where they would ultimately play the game together.
Yeah, that would make sense. That fucking cunts.
Jade did retrieve his package in the present as planned, but
I don't know if I understand what they're trying to point at, or if the fact that what I'm thinking is might actually... Fuck it.
immediately took it to another location where it disappeared. Wayward Vagabond in the far future purified it from that location on accident. The package contained further instructions for him. He was to bring it to Peregrine Mendicant, and she was to use her station's sendificator to send it to another place in time. After she did this, the package appeared in front of young Jade on her birthday. Jade orchestrated the sequence of events through knowledge of them by her cloud visions.
She orchestrated similar events for the package she sent to John, plotting the circuitous route through time and space it was meant to follow. She again utilized the Exiles for help while they were still in the medium.
Why?
The Exiles, WV, PM, and AR, were all formerly agents of the Kingdoms before they were exiled by some means to post-apocalyptic Earth. AR, as an authority regulator in the Land of Wind and Shade, discovered the package in the beta copy in John's wrecked car as he gave it a parking ticket. PM, working as a parcel mistress, recognized the package from correspondence she had with Jade on Prospect some time ago, and recalled it must be delivered to John. AR would not relinquish the package, though he did give her the beta, which he delivered into a Pixis to satisfy the carved request of a mini-tablet. John carved this tablet at the request of PM through the command terminal in the future.
Authority Regulator brought the package to Durst, where it ultimately wound up at the desk of Jack Knorr. Jack is the Archagent of the Dark Kingdom, charged with overseeing affairs through his office's fenestrated wall portals and processing paperwork. He is forced to wear a silly garment in keeping with prototyping themes by the Black Queen, an order he resentfully complies with.
See ya, Azzy.
He oversaw the imprisonment of John's dad, who broke loose on multiple occasions. When Jack went to handle it personally, John's dad set Jack's hat on fire. In a surly act of gratitude, he released the prisoner. Then, John's dad fled to the Land of Wind and Shade, fought large monsters, got his hat dirty, and lost a shoe. He then carved a tablet request for new ones, which John filled via pixies, unaware of who requested them.
PM followed AR to Durst.
The fuck? You can tell this is drugs. You can tell this is drugs.
In hopes of retrieving the package. After wandering around, she encountered the Black Queen on her throne. Both the Light and Dark Kingdoms each have a king and a queen.
Yeah, so that was the Dark Queen, which is now dead, and he put on the ring. So he's now the Dark King, right? But why did she have a sword through her? The entire altogether. Why?
The Queen sits on the throne on Prospit and Durst respectively, ruling the planet. The Kings command armies on the battlefield located at the centre of Skya. The Queen takes on the attributes supplied by the prototypings due to the 4 orbs ring she wears.
So this guy's now the Queen. Isn't it funny? He actually hates the hat. Wait. No, hang the fuck on. She's making him wear the hat because his prototyping isn't that of a clown, which means he must have been created prior to John's prototyping and hatching the thingy. So this guy must have been around long before then, which is why he resents this. So where the fuck is he from?
When the ring is removed, the Queen is restored to normal. PM showed BQ a parking ticket she was pretending to deliver. BQ directed her to Jack's office, where the ticket should be filed.
PM met Jack and asked for the package. Jack proposed a deal and gave her a black regisword. If she would kill the White Queen and White King and bring him their crowns, he would give her the package. She accepted with little alternative.
I fucking love it. It's like, I want you to end the game for me, and I will give you a parcel. Here you go. That's like the equivalent of like fucking... I don't even have to... The only things that are affected by the prototypings are imps are those that wear the ring. A pawn promoted to queen. Those like PM, AR, and Jack are not affected by the prototypes unless we're in the ring. Oh, okay.
She then visited the White Queen on Prospect and explained the situation with no intention of carrying out Jack's mission.
Wait, so she just walked up to the White Queen? What?
The White Queen, understanding the futility of their situation and the need to recover the package, abdicated and gave PM her crown and her ring. PM was instructed to go find the White King, retrieve his crown, and receive farther instruction on what to do with the ring to protect it. White Queen would then eventually exile herself to post-apocalyptic Earth.
But doesn't the game only end when she and the White King die? So by disappearing, it makes it more difficult for the Black King and Queen to kill her.
On post-apocalypse Earth, after Aimless Renegade fired on Wayward Vagabond and Peregrine Medicant from the ruins, he spotted Wayward Vagabond's pumpkin, which Wayward Vagabond had earlier purified from Jade's house. He recognized the carving of Beck's silhouette on the pumpkin. Fearful of it, he surrendered. The three exiles soon became friends over a campfire and shared rations.
Yeah, so they're exiles. They're from the Black Kingdom. She's from the fucking motherfuckers. And these toys are the scrunchies, aren't they? Oh, all right. So well, that makes sense because it's in the what fuck.
Vagabond and Aimless Renegade built Exile Town out of the cans, mailboxes, and bullets. Peregrine Medicant operated Wayward Vagabond's station terminal to submit commands to John as he explored the land of wind and shade. In the sky, another egg station teleported and fell to the ground. It was shaped like an egg and originated from Dave's meteor impact site, in correspondence with the egg-shaped item he would use to enter the medium. Emerging from this station was the windswept Questant, formerly the White Queen.
AR and WV sought to impress WQ by crafting a crown for her out of a mailbox. She refused the distinction, instead giving it to PM, who had successfully completed her mission to deliver Jade's package to John in the distant past. The means by which she went about this have yet to be seen.
John entered the land of wind and shade by having Rose build up to his house to the first gate, fighting through many imps and ogres with his powerful new alchemized weapons.
I'm glad we watched the recap because I didn't pick up all of that. Like, I picked up bits and pieces, but like 90% of it I didn't.
And entering the gate. This took him to a location beneath the clouds, far below his house. The land of wind and shade turned out to be a large, windy planet filled with dark terrain, incandescent trees, networks of pipes, and oily rivers. In addition to holding more powerful adversaries, the land is occupied by friendly consorts, a race of salamanders. They help John understand the mythos of the land, and inform him of the planet's persecution by a sleeping denizen, which is responsible for clogging the pipes with oil and trapping fireflies under the clouds.
Each planet has a sleeping denizen, which the players must first wake and then kill in the course of their journey through the 7 gates. Rose's planet, the Land of Light and Rain, or Lolar, is a multicolored ocean planet with white sandy islands and pink ruins, and has a denizen responsible for killing all life in the water. Dave's planet, the Land of Heat and Clockwork, or Lohak, is a lava planet covered in industrial steel frame structures and turning gears, and has a denizen of yet unknown qualities.
Killing the denizen releases a huge grist horde buried at the core of the planet, which is then used to fuel a process known as the ultimate alchemy. Along the way, the kids are meant to learn about their destined roles in this quest as the Heir of Breath, John, Seer of Light, Rose, Knight of Time, Dave, and Witch of Space, Jade.
So Knight of Time has traveled through time. Witch of Space has seen past and future events in space. Land of... What was Jade again?
Kids are meant to learn about their destined roles in this quest as the Heir of Breath, John.
I don't get it. Wait, but he's always in the air and flies around like an asshole.
Seer of Light, Rose.
That's ironic considering her worship of Cthulhu.
Knight of Time, Dave.
That makes sense, he travels through time.
And Witch of Space, Jade.
Again, she does the space shit. And so the 4 elements are like fire, water, air, and I'm guessing space, you need the grist from all of them to do some sort of summoning, okay? That's pretty much everywhere. Like, you play any RPG, there's always going to be a demigod-like element thing that you got to kill. And you kill the 4 of them, and you get what? That's the real question. What do you get? Do you get God, or do you get... What the fuck do you get? What happens when you collect all the Jinchuriki? Like, what happens?
Over the course of their quest, the Dark Kingdom will inevitably defeat the Light Kingdom. The Black Queen and King will take control and initiate the Reckoning. This affects a belt of meteors called the Veil, which orbits far from Skya between the 4 planets Endurse and is host to various lab facilities used by the kingdoms. The Reckoning causes the meteors to descend on Skya, ultimately destroying it, unless the Black Queen and King can be defeated in time.
So all the kids are basically on Skya, and it's getting meteored. So what we perceived as Earth at the beginning was actually Skya. And Earth is actually where they're sleeping, where their physical bodies are. So at the beginning, we didn't actually see Earth. We were just looking at Skya.
Skya, however, buys time by opening defense portals to catch many of the meteors.
Well, the thing we saw at the beginning was Earth, but I thought John was asleep. So John's Earth self is the sleep of something else?
Redirecting them elsewhere in space and time.
This is the generic template for the way the game is supposed to proceed. It can deviate from this model, however, depending on the actions of the players, and the details of the game mythology presented is unique to each group of players and their session.
What is this?
Long before John and his friends started playing the game, another group of players had been persistently trolling them, particularly Jade. They are furious about an action she will take that will cause major problems in their 4 kids game session, and inevitably lead to their defeat. Specifically, Jade will send a package to John, apparently containing a powerful weapon he will need later, but the package winds up in the hands of Jack Nor, leading to dire consequences. They allude to other things she will do that will need not only trouble for the other kids, but to the troll players as well.
The trolls consist of 12 kids from an alien planet who went through the same process as John and his friends, escaping from the annihilation of their planet via meteors and into the medium to play the game. Their game session is entirely separate from that of the 4 kids. It has the same basic template, with its own Skya, Prospit, Durse, Vale, and a planet for each troll, but separate game instances of these. They also have different instances of the same character templates, such as the Kings and Queens, and agents like Jack Noir.
The trolls have completed their game session with yet unknown results. They now reside on a meteor in their Veil, sitting at terminals trolling John and company. From their terminals, they can choose any point in the past or future of the kids to troll, and observe what they're doing at that moment. As a group, their only stated objective is to harass the kids, which they do haphazardly throughout different points in the kids' timeline. Though they can choose any point on the kids' timeline to talk, they are mostly resigned to the understanding that no matter what they do, they can't change the outcome of the kids' actions.
The 4 most vociferous trolls so far have been Carcinogeneticist, Gallows Calibrator, Grim Auxiliatrix, and Adios Toreador. The other 8 being Apocalypse Arisen, Twin Armageddons, Arsenic Catnip, Arachnid's Grip, Centaur's Testicle, Terminally Capricious, Caligula's Aquarium, and Cuttlefish Kohler, each yet to be heard from.
I guess it didn't explain it. Basically, the portal redirect meteors to protect Skya by sending them to Earth. John's non-dream self is in the game, and his dream self is in the game in the Outer Veil. John's non-dream self is in the game, and his dream self is also in the game in the Outer Veil. Fun. So, where GC and John are is the Outer Veil, and his dream self is in the game, which is on Earth. Oh, fun. Yeah, my brain's gonna have fun wrapping around this.
Carcinogeneticist, CG, appears to have spearheaded the group's trolling campaign. While he was in the thick of his game session, the exile commanding him from a terminal in the apocalyptic future was...
Wait, John's dream self is asleep. John's waking self is in the game. Oh! Okay, I had it mixed up. I assumed that the one that was sleeping was the real one, and the game one was the sleeping one, but it's actually the opposite.
Spade Slick. This is one difference between his game session and John's.
Each yet to be heard from.
Carcinogeneticist, CG, appears to have spearheaded the group's trolling campaign. While he was in the thick of his game session, the exile commanding him from a terminal in the apocalyptic future was Spade Slick. This is one difference between his game session and John's, who had WV as an exile commanding him. In CG's session, his version of Jack Noir became exiled along the way and took on the name Spade Slick. 3 other agents were exiled, and the 4 of them formed a gang called the Midnight Crew, and spent years building up a dark city in the future wasteland of the Trolls' dead planet. Another difference in the Trolls session was that at some point along the way, the Black Queen was also exiled, later joined a rival gang called the Felt, assumed special powers that make her highly inadvisable to kill, and came to be known as Snowman.
Well, that's just fucking weird.
It was not until Slick confronted the Felt in their mansion that he discovered the station terminal to command CG, and not before Snowman blinded him in one eye, severed his arm, and locked him in a vault.
Each troll has a different trolling strategy, and a different rhythm by which they hop around the kid's timeline to chat with them. Carcinogenetic's strategy, for the most part, was to begin trolling them at the very end of their adventure, the moment at which he was most angry with their actions, and then gradually work backwards, mostly talking to John. This proves to be mutually frustrating, though, as John knows less and less about the situation the further into the past Carcinogeneticist goes. Similarly, the further into the future John progresses, the more he has the advantage over Carcinogeneticist by knowledge of his future conversations with him, and vice versa. Over the course of the opposing directions of the 2 sides of the conversations, John learns more about the nature of the game and why they're being trolled, and, in spite of hostility, they gradually befriend each other through an inevitability alluded to on both sides of the conversation.
Early in the correspondence between John and CG, which is to say, late for CG, CG discovers he needs to get in touch with Jade, who refuses to talk to him in that time period, so he delivers a message to her much earlier, months in the past, telling her she needs to contact him when she's in trouble. She will know to do this when her Dreambot explodes in the future, an outcome that has not yet happened.
2 other trolls, Grim Auxiliatrix and Adios Toreador, GA and AT, have targeted only Rose and Dave thus far. GA has hopped arbitrarily back and forward in Rose's timeline to talk to her, and is attempting to cultivate a friendship with her that now seems rigged through a series of conversational time loops, while seeking counsel from Dave on how to befriend her.
This is why you don't fuck with time!
AT sought counsel from Rose on how to troll Dave more effectively after getting severely counter-trolled by him. He is under the impression he rebounded nicely, though.
They're fucked with the timeline at so many points that they have to keep fucking with the timeline to ensure that the fucking of the timeline exists so they can ensure that they fucking exist. Stop fucking with time! Oh god. My brain hurts!
Gallows Calibrator, GC, has stayed mostly linear in her trolling patterns and has done so under the guise of helping the kids on their quest. She convinces John to take a shortcut through his land, shows him the Denizen's palace, leads him to warp back to his house, then shows him how to fix the faulty rocket pack he made earlier through an alchemy mishap.
Wait, sorry.
She tells him to trolled by him. He is under the impression he rebounded nicely, though.
Gallows Calibrator, GC, has stayed mostly linear in her trolling patterns and has done so under the guise of helping the kids on their quest. She convinces John to take a shortcut through his land, shows him the Denizen's palace, leads him to warp back to his house, then shows him how to fix the faulty rocket pack he made earlier through an alchemy mishap. She tells him to use the rocket pack to fly up to the 7th gate, enter the Denizen's palace, and kill it in its sleep.
Now that is fucking trolling. She convinced him to basically attack endgame 40-man raid boss by himself at basically level 3 because she's been helpful up until now, so why should she be lying? Fucking troll.
Complied with this and flew through the 7th gate in spite of reservations from Dave, who just entered the medium the moment before John took off.
Gallows Calibrator also assists her Rose just after she bested an ogre with ease. She counseled her on understanding her role as the Seer of Light, and the meaning of the voice in her head as an exile issuing commands from a terminal. In her case, it was the exiled White Queen issuing the commands from the X-shaped station in the future.
So they don't control them, but they're basically the voice in their head, which for us is our kind of like self-aware consciousness. So we're kind of like, what the fuck is that crazy voice? In fact, it's actually a computer terminal somewhere at another point. Stop fucking with time! Everyone's fucking with time! The White Queen, the Black Queen, the White King, the Black King, the kids in time, the kids themselves from another time, and one of the kids died because a fucking troll from another time fucked with... Ah! How much drugs have you been taking? This is drugs on top of drugs. This is like every time you're on drugs, you document what you're thinking and you write plot. And then the next time you're drugs, you add on to the plot. And then the next time you're drugs, you add on to the plot. And then when you realize the plots don't bend together, you take drugs once more to make a plot that links together all the plots. So what you've got is a linear plot, a linear plot, a linear plot, and then you've got a diagonal plot that ties into all the linear plots that creates a subplot. Ah!
Since Dave is Rose's server player, the terminal station from Dave's impact site issues commands to Rose, just as the station at Rose's site, which Wayward Vagabond found, issues command to John, her client player.
After conversing with G.A., Rose found Jasper Sprite and interrogated him about the secret which she had found so maddeningly mysterious years ago. He explained elements of the mythos of her land and how she'd need to learn to play the rain to produce the musical analogue of a genetic code to reintroduce life into the ocean. In response to her question about his secret, he simply replied, "Meow." She mistook this for more nonsense, but it was in fact the secret he had told her years ago. The four-letter sequence MEOW unlocked a genetic code in her subconscious, which she would spend years scrawling on her wall using those letters in place of the typically used GCAT letters. While completely oblivious to the scrawlings and their meaning, just as John was. As Jasper said, she would understand their meaning when her dream self wakes up.
Iki, I need you to tell me, what is the secret of the world? I know you know. Tell me, what is the secret of the world, Cheeky? Don't look away. I know you know. Don't, just whisper it. Just whisper it, you can tell me. I'll keep it a secret. Why are you looking away? Tell me the secret. Tell me the secret. She's giving me the silent treatment. Have I not fed you? Have I not bathed you? She's abandoned me. What the fuck? So what's the deal with the dog for GC? Like, does the fucking dog know shit too?
Rose's dream self lives in a tower on the moon of Durs. Dave's dream self lives on the same moon in the other tower. It was suggested by Rose's future self, who was fully awake in the tower, that Dave had already been awake in his tower all along without realizing it. This was suggested in a conversation she had in the future with Dave. It was an alternative future timeline not meant to be. This future timeline came about by this series of events.
Dave was able to enter the medium by connecting with Jade as his server player. Jade got copies of the game from the Frog Ruins after she delivered John's package to her past self. She snuck into the ruins while Beck was asleep and retrieved the game from a Lotus time capsule which had been ticking down for millions of years. The game was Dave's copy from the future, the same one that fell out of the window with the impaled crow. When she got the game, the time capsule started ticking down again, set to expire 413 years later when the exiles are there. She dropped some items in the ruins, leaving them there for Aimless Renegade to find, and leaving her base jammed in the elevator. Beck then found her there, took her back to her room, and grounded her there for the rest of the evening.
She quickly helps Dave set up the game, upgrading his alchemeter heavily and crafting the special item he needed to enter the medium, a red egg, which needed to be incubated and hatched to activate. She prototyped his kernel sprite with the impaled crow, which would affect the enemies later, including the Black Queen. The sprite built a nest on top of his apartment's antenna tower and stole the egg to incubate it for hours.
So that Black Queen is... Oh, okay, that was his Black Queen. That's why she has a sword through her. Oh no, is Kuma the secret after all? Yep. Why do you think he has such an affinity for bears?
A very large meteor was soon bearing down on his city.
Dave then entered the medium through a series of unseen events. Jade was asleep, thus forbidden by Dave from interacting with his environment at all. Jade complied for fear of retribution. Dave was faced with a crow sprite, which appeared to be suggesting he prototype it again with the remains of Lil Cow. Dave consulted with John on this, who is about to rocket up to the 7th gate.
There's only one Black Queen. The ring gives the user the effects of every prototyping. Oh.
John had no advice and proceeded up through the gate against better judgment.
That's why it has 4 spirals on it. 4 eggs to hatch. Fair enough.
Dave prototyped the sprite with Cal. John entered the palace, presumably found the denizen, and was easily killed by it, as was the intent of GC's trick on him. This meant John could not establish a connection with Jade to rescue her from the looming meteor, and Dave and Rose lost contact with her, presuming her dead. Dave and Rose then spent the next 4 months in the medium, advancing as far as they could to collect information before Dave decided to travel back in time to change events.
I love how it's just like, yes, I have decided now to travel back in time. It's like, you could do that the entire time? Yes. So why didn't you do that at the beginning, a few seconds prior to John being a dumbass? I did not know at the time.
Dave used his timetables to go back to the moment he was about to prototype with Cal. Both he and his past self strongly urged John not to go through the gate. John was reluctant at first, but soon reconsidered and flew down beneath the clouds. Future Dave then gave present Dave all his advanced gear and prototyped the crow sprite with himself to make Dave's sprite, thus serving as his own guide from the future gate. John was reluctant at first, but soon reconsidered and flew down beneath the clouds. Future Dave then gave present Dave all his advanced gear and prototyped the crow sprite with himself to make Dave's sprite, thus serving as his own guide from the future.
That's the equivalent of finishing a game, like an MMO. Say, for example, any MMO you can think of. Going back in time to the point where you first start the game at like level 3 or 4 or something. Giving yourself all the endgame gear, weapons, currency, bags, fucking everything. And it's like, oh, by the way, I'm just gonna float behind you the entire time, assist you with certain mobs and bosses when required, and guide you through everything. Oh, by the way, you have all the endgame shit you could possibly need. Alright, laters.
Before going back in time, future Dave convinced future Rose to go to sleep. He suggested her dream self would be unaltered by the timeline shift, and in her dream state she would remember the events from the future. When Dave went back, Rose's future dream self assumed the position of Rose's present dream self.
Wait, what? Wait, the motherfuck?
Before going back in time, future Dave convinced future Rose to go to sleep. He suggested her dream self would be unaltered by the timeline shift, and in her dream state she would remember the events from the future. When Dave went back, Rose's future dream self assumed the position of Rose's present dream self.
So what happened to her present dream self? The present dream self disappeared? Or assumed the position of the future dream... What? Rose's past and future selves fused.
Rose fell asleep, and on Dursa's moon, she instantly woke up. She then saw all the genetic scrawling she did in MEOW letters and understood their meaning.
They fucked with time so much.
Meanwhile, on Durst below, the Black Queen again insisted that Jack Nor abide by the dress code. He refused, and the Queen threatened him. He picked up Jade's package to John, removed what was inside, and used it to slice her ring finger off.
What?
And the Queen threatened him. He picked up Jade's package to John, removed what was inside, and used it to slice her ring finger off.
What the fuck was inside?
He then killed the Black Queen, put on the ring, and donned the full upgrade supplied by the 3 prototypings. He then became Jack Spurs Noirlcrow, which is a name I made up just now. And then, after that, you started watching me type in this ridiculous study I photoshopped for myself with my cool horse painting propped up in the background.
Stop humping with time! Stop! They're humping time like it's a $20 hooker. Andrew Husey wrote the whole recap from memory. You know that scene in The Matrix where Neo plugs into the chair and they upload like jujitsu and a bunch of other martial arts all at once and he just wakes up and he's like... That's basically me right now. I need to go through a sleep cycle of REM sleep where everything that's in my short-term memory goes into my medium and long-term memory and gets processed. Because while it is in the RAM part of my brain and accessible, I am unable to process it at this time. There is just too much shit to process and have a coherent trail of thought to discuss. It's just too much at once. I just got nuked. I got content nuked. I just got MGS 2'd. Like MGS 2's ending of 40 minutes into my brain at once. Ow. Ow. All I gotta say is ow. I know that feeling. Ah. Oh, yeah. Woo! Woo! Oh, wow. Oh. Ooh. If you want, we can answer questions you have. The Hiveswap channel, if the answer isn't spoils. I mean, it's more so I need the process. You can watch something, but you need to digest it. You need to digest it. That's why I always throw questions by pausing the video, because I might not be able to coherently flush out the question later because more information is going to be buried on top of it. I'm just, wow. I can feel the mental fatigue. My brain has just gone through a lot of soaking. The sponge is pretty full right now. The sponge is full of the liquid that is known as LSD that has been soaked up from this thing. A sponge filled with acid. Also remember that you aren't going to understand everything yet because you don't have all the info. That is true, but also at the same time, it doesn't stop my brain from asking the question and then trying to sort of link it to something. I won't be able to. It's 12. I gotta wrap up. It's been 4 hours. And we've just done the recap, and Act 4 still has Part 8, Part 9, Part 10, Part 11, Part 12, Part 13. That's another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 videos. Too much, man. That can't even be wrapped up in the next hour. So that would be 5, 6 hours. Wouldn't be able to. I gotta wrap up. Whew. Well, I guess we're gonna wrap it up here. Not a bad stopping spot, considering this. It's probably going to be a good spot for me to cut the reaction video too, because it ends at a very high note, and people are probably going to be like, whoa, okay, I need a little bit of a break after this. So it works on both ends. For future Kuma, this is where you can cut the video, by the way. There you go. You're welcome. Oh, fuck, I shouldn't fuck with space-time like that. Yeah, I think I'm going to take a nap. I think I'm going to take a nap, man. I'm going to take a nap. I need it. I'm going to go hang out in the dream world where weird shit happens, but it doesn't matter because I forget about it when I wake up. Okay, thank you for coming. I'll be editing out the Homestuck reactions. They'll be up on the reaction channel that you guys already know about. I'll be editing out the Hiveswap friend sim, uploading it on the gaming channel, as you already know. And just a quick reminder, we will be live tomorrow with Ghost of Tsushima again, which is a good game. Highly recommend if you haven't gotten on it. It's got its own fourth wall humping, in that it has timelines that we only realized, so good shit there. And our timeline seems to be quite an interesting one, so we're having fun with that one. And then we're going to continue next week where we left off today, which honestly feels long now, but to be perfectly honest with you, the weeks feel like they've been getting shorter and shorter, especially from having to work at home. Even though we're busier, the fact that we're stuck in the same environment somehow makes the time, like, just, sometimes it's just, oh, it's Monday, it's Tuesday, what do you mean it's Friday? It's one of those situations, similar to the months. So it's going to be quicker than we think. It's going to be quicker than we think. Yeah, it feels like last week's stream were only a few days. It's honestly going to be quicker than we think. The only thing that's helping me keep track of time, believe it or not, is the video uploads that I release. Because I'm releasing a video every day, it sort of helps me to keep the pacing of, okay, this was released yesterday, the day before. It helps me catalog it in my mind. Apart from the other day where I released 2 videos within 2-3 hours, but that's like a one-off because I wanted to release the reactions. It's going to get weirder for me personally when I start slowly releasing videos on the reaction channel, because it's going to throw that a little bit out of whack, because the 2 speeds are going to be different. But it's not as long as we think it is. We'll be back here reacting and being brain fudged again. And thankfully, it's a good stopping point, and the next one is going to be a nice little ramp up again. As always, start thinking about the voices for next week. You guys know the chapter that we're doing next week, so start thinking on what voices would be appropriate. Well played this week. Well played. Well played. That's all I got to say. Well done. Well done. Hook, line, and sinker. That was well played. That was a good troll.